Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton, and I just finished the anime Alice and Zoroku. Now when the season started, Alice and Zoroku was, in my opinion, one of the most highly anticipated anime from my personal list, a list that also included shows like Recreators, Sakura Quest, and of course Attack on Titan Season 2. Now, for Alice and Zoroku, it manages to be somewhat underwhelming at first, but it clearly picks up near the second half, and it eventually ends up as a heartfelt series that I recommend for a lot of people. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is about a little girl named Sana who ends up having a strange power known as a dream of Alice that allows her to materialize anything that she can think of. After she escapes from a research facility, she ends up meeting an old florist named Zoroku, who may or may not help her deal with her problems. But despite the fact that he is sort of a grumpy old man, he does take her in to live with him and his granddaughter. And what follows is Sana dealing with the problems she's had to deal with at the research facility, as well as dealing with other dreams of Alice who have made themselves apparent to the public. Now, I originally thought this series would be more of a slice of life type story, especially since the director worked on the excellent Flying Witch. But at first, it feels more like Elfen Lied light. Basically, what I mean by that is that it's Elfen Lied, but without the heavy sexualization of its women, and without the insane amount of violence. There is some bloody violence to be had, but it's really downplayed for the most part, and it focuses more on the relationship between Sana and Zoroku. And in my opinion, the relationship between the two is when the show is at its strongest. Since Sana is sort of just a bratty little kid who's just learning, and Zoroku is a grouchy old man who's incredibly fun to watch. It's like all of these anime-style action scenes and crazy powers happen in his life, and he's just like, I don't have time for this. Seriously, more anime need characters like Zoroku who have this grouchy, sarcastic charm to them. Unfortunately, one of the downsides is that Alice and Zoroku is much more interested in Sana's story than Zoroku's. And that's not to say that Sana's story is bad. In fact, when it gets near to the end of it, it actually gets really, really interesting. But Zoroku sort of feels like a side character in a series that should be, in my opinion, as much about him as it is about Sana. And for a long time, it felt like he was just a side character with the same amount of necessary means to the plot as his granddaughter Sanae, or as much as most of the other characters. Granted, Zoroku does contribute heavily to the finale of the series, but I would have liked to see more of him throughout. Also, the series is a tad bit uneven at points. Especially in the first episode, which is 44 minutes long, and it does drag a little bit in the first episode. In fact, I almost fell asleep at a couple of parts in the first episode because I felt it was just going on way too long when it didn't really need to. Luckily, the series does improve from episode to episode, and it manages to hit a more slice-of-life edge at around episode 6, after a huge action scene occurs in episode 5. But in my opinion, the first storyline of the series is only okay, as it is uneven between the slice-of-life and action elements, but a cool action scene and the introduction of some cool characters does keep it afloat. The second story arc is definitely much more interesting, putting more of a psychological drama edge and introducing two new characters who are, in my opinion, the most interesting of the whole series. So, if you're going into the series, make sure to stay for the second story arc, which starts at episode 6 and really starts to get going at around episode 8. The series really gets interesting then with tons of drama, tons of feels, and it really develops both Sana's character as well as a couple of other characters very well, especially two girls named Hattori and Ayumu. And that ending, without spoiling anything, the ending to the anime is done so well, and it's done with so much heart and joy, to the point where I almost teared up watching it. It's not cheesy, it's not overly sentimental, it's just a nice and very kind way to end a series that really I haven't felt in a while. Also, the opening and ending themes are very, very good. The opening theme is very cheerful and very upbeat, getting you ready for the events of the episode, and the ending theme is really calm, soothing, and full of dramatic flair. When I first heard the ending theme, I was like, this is so soothing, it makes me feel like I could fall asleep while watching this in joy, and I'd just have pleasant dreams for the rest of the night. So yeah, Alice in Zoroku is uneven, and its second half is clearly better than its first half, but overall, it's a good series that happens to make the most of both Sana and Zoroku at the end when it matters. So I give Alice in Zoroku an 8 out of 10. See you next time.